Our sanction is the people of India. And if that is so, we have to say something, not merely to frame rules and regulations, but we have to say something concrete to the people of India as to why you were assembled here on 9th of December 1946. If what Dr. Jaikar says had been the correct position, then this Constituent Assembly should not have been called at all. In fact, Dr. Jaikar should not have attended the meeting. He should have informed the Governor General that I regret I cannot accept your invitation because I feel you are doing wrong in calling the Constituent Assembly when the Muslim League and the Indian states are not attending it. But having come here for us to raise this issue is practically to walk into the trap of the Muslim League and to strengthen the hands of reactionaries in Great Britain. I know, sir, that Dr. Jaikar would be the last man do such a thing. I admire his courage of conviction. In fact, everyone who feels that certain things should be done must be enabled to come forward and present his viewpoint. But we also may respectfully point out to him the great danger that lies in the innocent-looking amendment which he has put forward before the House. And I hope that he will withdraw the amendment in due course when the time comes. Sir, I would like just to say a few words with regard to another aspect of the question. The resolution is there, but are we going to implement it? What are the impediments that we already see before us, which may prevent us from carrying this resolution into effect? Now, sir, one of course is the status of the Constituent Assembly in the absence of the Muslim League. Dr. Jaikar said yesterday, he referred to some analogy of a dinner party. He said if guests are invited and if some guests do not come, then how can you have the dinner party? But he forgot to say that what would be the fate of the guests who have already arrived. If he is going to be the host and he invites 6 guests, 5 of them come and 1 doesn't, is he going to starve those 5 or turn them out of his house and say, as the 6th has not come, you are not going to get your food? Obviously not. In fact, Mr. Churchill said that the absence of the Muslim League in the Constituent Assembly is something like the absence of the bride in the church when the marriage was going to take place. Well, I do not know if the Indian states has to come, the Muslim League has to come, how many brides the Constituent Assembly is going to have ultimately. In any case, if that is Mr. Churchill's point of view, he should not play the role of a seducer. He should have asked Mr. Jinnah to come back to India and join the Constituent Assembly and place his point of view before the people of India. So no one has said that the Muslim League should not come. In fact, we want that the Muslim League should come so that we can meet face to face if there are difficulties, if there are differences of opinion. We do not wish that we should carry only by majority votes. That may have to be done at the last resort. But obviously every attempt must be made, will be made, to come to an agreement as regards the future constitution of India. But why is the Muslim League being prevented from coming? My charge is, sir, the Muslim League is not coming because of the British attitude. The Muslim League is being encouraged to feel that if the Muslim League does not come, it will be able to veto the final action of the Constituent Assembly. That power of veto in some form or other has passed into the hands of the Muslim League, and that is the danger that threatens the future activities of this great assembly. Sir, I'm not going to discuss, because this is not the time nor the occasion when I can discuss in detail the various provisions of the statements. But I would certainly say this, that this Constituent Assembly, although it is a British creation for the time being, but once it comes into existence, it has the power, if it has the will, to assert its right and to do what is best and proper for the good of the people of India, irrespective of caste, creed, or community. Now, sir, we have said, at any rate the Indian National Congress has said, because that was one of the major parties with whom negotiations went on, that they stand by the cabinet mission scheme of May 16th. It gladdened my heart yesterday when Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel got up, interrupting Dr. Jaikar, and said that the Congress has not accepted anything beyond this statement of May 16th, 1946. That I considered to be an announcement of fundamental importance. We have got to make it clear as to what we are here for. Of course, I would give my viewpoint, tender my advice to this great assembly when I say that our attitude should be something like this. We shall give the cabinet mission scheme of May 16th a chance. Genuinely, honestly, we shall see if we can come to an agreement with the other parties and elements on the basis of the scheme of May 16th, 1946. But subsequent interpretations, we are not going to accept. There has been considerable difference of opinion with regard to one clause of the statement of May 16th, 1946, and that is with regard to the question of grouping. Now it is for the Congress to decide, as one of the major parties involved, what interpretation it is going to accept ultimately. If the interpretation as given by His Majesty's government is not accepted, and if Congress considers that the interpretation put upon that portion of the statement by itself is correct, then of course a crisis may come. But that is a question which has to be decided apart from a discussion on this resolution. In fact, the greater the delay in making a decision on that question, the greater will be an atmosphere of unreality so far as the proceedings of this House are concerned. But after that question is decided, supposing the interpretation put by His Majesty's government is accepted, whether by reference to the federal court or not, I need not go into. Then we shall go on. We shall proceed with our work. The Muslim League will come, or it may not come. If it comes, well and good. Even if it does not come, we must claim to proceed along with the business of the Constituent Assembly. I feel, sir, that if a crisis does come, as I visualize, it is likely to come if ever India is to be free. It is not going to be done through constitutional means in view of the developments that have taken place during the last few days. It will not be done so easily. But if it has to be done, I would say, sir, that that should be done through the agency of this Constituent Assembly and none other. If ultimately we have to function, we shall function on our own responsibility and prepare a constitution which we shall be able to place before the bar of world opinion and satisfy everyone that we have treated the people of India, minorities and all, in a just and equitable manner. After all, what happened with regard to the South African question? We have today in our midst Mrs. Pandit, who has come back to her motherland after a great victory. But even there, she was not supported by our self-constituted trustee, His Majesty's government in Great Britain. In fact, the vote went against India, so far as Great Britain was concerned. But she won. The Indian delegates won before the bar of world opinion. Similar may be the case with regard to the activities of the Constituent Assembly also. If we take courage in both hands and frame a constitution which will be just and equitable to all, then we shall be able, if need be, to declare this Constituent Assembly as the first parliament of a free and sovereign Indian Republic, able to form our own national government and enforce our decision on the people of this land. As I said a few minutes ago, our sanction is not the British people. or the British government. Our sanction is the people of India. And therefore, we have to make the ultimate appeal to the people of our country. Sir, when we talk about minorities, it is suggested as if the Muslim League represents the only minority in India. But that is not so. There are other minorities. Hindus also constitute a minority in at least 4 provinces in India. And if minority rights have to be protected, such rights must affect every minority, which may vary from province to province,